Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome everybody out there. This is the Multi-League Racing Network coming to you live from Martinsville Speedway, the short track in Southern Virginia, Southwestern Virginia. We're here, we're playoff style racing in the Stone River Cup Series, Stone River Outfitters Cup Series here at Multi-League iRacing. I'm Scott Patton. I'm joined in the booth by Mr. Ken Huber out west. How's it going out there, Ken?
Going really good. I appreciate being out here with you here at Martinsville. Kind of excited. The last race before we head, or the last playoff race, so to speak, before we head to the grand finale at Phoenix next week, which is going to be another exciting race. So we got two in a row, some fantastic driving by some fantastic drivers with a lot of comers and goers this season.
Certainly, we've got a lot of storylines to talk about. Not only the race tonight, which is sure to be a good one, as we saw on NASCAR yesterday, a heck of a race on TV. We'll see if we can match the excitement there. But not only short track racing here for the last time, but also points tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Cutting the field down from 8 drivers, like I said, down to 4 for the championship next week at Phoenix Raceway. So a lot to talk about there during this race. We'll probably have a couple cautions to detail those items. And right now we're in qualifying. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain on the board. Let's see who's got the top of qualifying right now. Jeff Merck, it looks like. Jeff Merck and Greg Mall, 19.4s.
Yeah, Greg Mall's looking to... he won earlier this spring at Martinsville, got that clock, looking to get that second win tonight by so far being up there in second. Since you mentioned the points, why don't we bring those points up there, Scott, and we can talk about those really quick.
Yeah, there's your points for you, Ken.
Yeah, so Justin Michael's still leading this thing now. Justin Michael has won 12 races this season, kind of stayed on top of the point standing, but he's done that a lot with bonus points as well. But after this race tonight, going into the final 4, as long as he makes it tonight, which probably rest assured he probably will, all those bonus points will go away. The top 4 drivers will be even in points, and the way that the championship race will chase or end up next week is whoever's the highest finisher will get that championship. So Justin Michael, as I mentioned, is leading this thing. Wesley Holland on his tail, just 6 points behind in second. And in third, Vernon Margine making a strong comeback late in the season. Jeff Merck had some struggles last week. For Jeff Merck, currently in fourth, in danger of losing that fourth position. He is currently 17 points behind the leader, and behind him, these are outsiders looking in. Billy Bumgarner, 21 points behind, tied with Rod Mitten. Both these guys are in fifth, 21 points behind. So Jeff Merck is right in that same window. So these guys get a couple positions on Jeff Merck tonight. Jeff Merck might be kissing his championship hopes goodbye tonight. So Jeff Merck's got to put in a good run tonight. Charles Widener back there in 7th place, 24 points behind. Still really close for Charles. And then James Hearns in that last final 8 position. He is 44 points behind. So James has got his work cut out for him.
Certainly does. Great run there. We'll look at the points. Probably throughout the night, we'll probably need a couple reminders. I know myself I will, as the race develops tonight, to see who's where. You notice on the qualifying ticker here on the left, all the drivers, talk about Jeff Merck and Greg Mall so far in that provisional front row. But as we get going in the race, you'll see something different tonight that we tried to work earlier in the season. It didn't quite work. We worked out some bugs this week. And by golly, knock on wood, we've got it working, where you'll see the playoff contenders, the top 8 in the points. You'll see them with the red lit up car numbers on the side of the ticker. So it'll be a lot more clear once the race starts here, but a minute to go in qualifying. Let's see if anybody else is left on the racetrack. I don't see anybody right now. Looks like they've all come into pit road to grab a Gatorade, grab a beer, and get ready to grid this thing up here in about 40 seconds.
Yeah, so everybody, in about 40 seconds, like Scott said, getting ready to kick off this thing. Like and subscribe to the video. Give us a shout out there in chat. I'm always monitoring that. So is Scott now, and we'd like to hear from you guys out there. I know there's a lot of family members out there that watch these races, and we're certainly glad to have you.
Yeah, certainly. Everybody in the chat, welcome. Let us know you're out there, like Ken said. I guess we can use this last 20 seconds to talk about next week. We made the official announcement in the middle of last week for the Multi-League Racing Network. We're going to be joined in the booth here right next to me. The Dr. Dick Berggren is going to be here joining us for the race finale at Phoenix next week. That's sure to be an exciting one, and we've got a special, some special things up our sleeve for Dick and the museum and whatnot. We'll get into more details maybe later tonight, if not next week, but that's one that you're surely not going to want to miss. And not to mention, the green flag is going to be going early next week at 8 o'clock Eastern time instead of the normal 8:30 There we go, down to pit road for the pre-race ceremonies. Looks like the cars are gridding up. And let's go down and check out our starting grid tonight. Let's see here. Oh, of course.
All right, guys.
There it is.
Big night tonight.
Jeff Mark on the pole with
Break it
Greg
down to
Mall
the
in
final
second. We
four.
talked about that. Jack
We got
Watts
8 guys.
and Justin Michael rounding out row number 2. Vernon Margheim, Steve Cigars running out row number 3.
Michael,
Johnny Hamby,
Wesley
Michael
Holland,
Milfeld
Vernon
Jr., Charles
Margheim,
Widener, and
Jeff
Eric
Mark,
Talent
Willie
from down in
Bumgarner,
Georgia
Rod
running up the top
Mitten,
10.
Charlie Widner.
Yeah, Wes Holland will start
And
this
James
race in
Burns
11th on
is
the
not
inside
here.
there. Wes Holland, again, keeping that same strategy going there, Scott, of qualifying, of course, about mid-pack. I think we have 24 cars on the field tonight, but Wes Holland will start in 11th. He's our number 2 in points right now, so Martinsville, it's kind of could be a tough road to hoe to get up front. Jeff Gilmore, the 57, also been running strong out there in 12th. Rod Minton will start in the 13th position. On his outside, he'll have Joe Marks in the number 4 Marine Corps car. The rest of the drivers haven't taken a qualifying lap. They'll be starting provisionally. That'll be the number 8 of Billy Bumgardner starting in 15th. Christopher Davis will start in 16th. Trent Drum will start in 17th. Jason Hughes will start in 18th. Wally Turheimer will start in 19th. And David Schreck rounds out your top 20.
There it is, last 3 cars here. 21st, JJ Garrett, look for him to make some moves, I'm sure, towards the front here. Kerry Cleaver, the 69 car, and Christopher Voiles, the captain from Bandit Motorsports, starting shotgun on the field tonight. Our race analysis here at Martinsville, 123 laps. We got 23 cars, laying down times. Sky cover is mostly cloudy tonight. Temperature nice 78. Track temperature up to 101. It's 4:04 o'clock p.m. That's track time, local time at Martinsville. You guys got 5 sets of tires and no fast repairs. We call that the Jimmy Todd rule here at Multi-League Racing.
Yeah, and we'll have about 2 laps to go before we go green, about a lap and a half now. So not just a single lap, 2 laps. So one thing I wanted to talk about is Greg Molly won last season, but or last spring. The one thing he did it though is he didn't take a single pit stop the entire race. Do you think we'll see that again tonight, Scott?
Gosh, I gotta imagine that it's in his playbook for sure, especially starting up front. I think that could be a possibility as the cautions wind down. If you're up front and it's working and you're clear of traffic, why not stay up front? And it worked for him in the spring, so certainly a good shot at that happening later tonight, as well as maybe somebody deeper in the pack, knowing that the door's kind of open now on that strategy, and learning from Greg and maybe stealing a play out of his own playbook there.
Yeah, and back there, just behind Greg Mall and Jeffrey Merck is Vernon Margheim, kind of back there in that 33. Going to start, I think it was in 4th position. Like I said, it's been strong at the end of the season here as the pace car ducks in. We're about to take him to the green flag here, Scott.
Here we are, Jeff Mark with some new colors tonight in the New England Racing Museum number 60 car. Takes him down off of turn number 4 into the Geico restart zone, and green flag is out. We're racing here at Martinsville. Jeff Mark gets a nice start there. Looks like side by side for 3rd. Jack Watts and Justin Michael back there.
Yeah, and I imagine Jack Watts tried to close that hole, couldn't quite get it done. Looks like Justin Michael will fall in back there in 4th, just behind Jack Watts. 33 car under pressure on the outside from, it looks like the Valvoline machine of, who did we say that was there? They changed the car on us there tonight, Scott. That was the 016 of...
Steve Cigars. Cigars? I don't know.
Yeah, cigars. I like cigars. Oh, Michael Milfeld Jr. just back there, close to about 10th. He gets sideways, tags the wall, almost a big issue back there. He's now losing all kinds of positions, though, so a little bit of struggles there. I think he got the car. Oh, and the 57 goes around. So Jeff Gilmore goes around on the front stretch here, and we're under our first caution of the night. Yellow
is out. We'll take a look at what happened off of turn number 4 as Jeff Gilmore throws it into reverse here, maybe gets the car righted, going the right way, and caution car comes off of corner number 4. We'll see what happened to Jeff Gilmore here in just a second. Oh, there it is. Looks like, yeah. Let me get on Jeff here for you. Looks like he just clips the apron coming off of in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. We'll look at it in slow motion here. There's the curb, which is a pretty good, it's a couple inch curb there with some little height to it. See left wheels jump up and just get sideways off of turn number 4. Locks it down. Tries to stay it out of everybody's way as everybody gets by safely on the outside.
Yeah, and Jeff Gilmore, he'd been running up quite a bit, running up front quite a bit this season, but tonight, not so lucky. He's going to end up being the last car on the lead lap. We still got all cars on the lead lap. This is or 5 laps into it. 123 lap races you mentioned at the top there, Scott. So we'll, I guess, re-rack and stack and try it again. And hopefully we have a little bit cleaner race than we had in the spring. I think we had, if I remember, 14 cautions. And I think that's what helped Greg Mall bring us to, well, that allowed him to get a win by 0 pit stop strategy.
Yeah, I gotta imagine, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of cautions, makes it pretty easy to stay out on older tires and just wait for the next caution to come. But we'll see if we get the cautions out, maybe get them out of the way early tonight here at Martinsville and get some green flag running under our belts here.
Man, that was a good memory there, Scott. I just looked it up. 13 cautions the last race, 124 laps.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was pretty close. So I don't know if you caught the race on Sunday there, Scott. We had a little bit of wall riding action out there.
Yeah, that was an exciting one. I gotta admit that I was watching it on the couch with my wife, and I was literally standing up as that happened. We were pulling for Ross Chastain in the NASCAR race, and we're kind of bummed on the last lap that there was no cars in front of him to pick up the 2 spots that he needed, and then away he goes, hammering down in turn 3. It almost looked fake, as everybody else, I'm sure, out there watched it as well, but to us it almost looked like it was a bad video, like maybe it was a video feed that looked like it was in fast forward motion, and they put it on the screen just to find out that that's really the speed that he was going there around the outside wall, like past just enough cars to get in the chase and make the championship race next week at Phoenix. Should be a good one to watch.
I wonder where he could have possibly learned something like from.
I know that right after the race, within 20 minutes after the race, my wife had told me that iRacing posted, "Stop tagging us." So
anyway, we're about to go green. Merck will start us on the inside there, I believe, and the pace car goes on to pit lane. They're looking for the Geico restart zone, which is up here in about 10 car lengths. They hit it. Okay, green flag is out. Jeff Merck gets a heck of a start there. Gets to the outside, gets ahead of his teammate there of Greg Mall. Justin Michael will fall in behind there. You can see the 77 of Jack Watts trying to get a nose up under that 87. Can't quite get it there, and that'll settle that battle out for the top 4.
Look back in the field, trying to find some side-by-side racing. Looks like Charles Widener in the Lowe's Chevy there on the outside. Of course, sporting those.
We got an accident.
Oh, big pile-up back here.
Eric Talent, I believe. Oh, no, it wasn't Eric Talent.
David Trek in the 12 car. I think that's Trent Drum, I believe. As we're still under green, if I'm you seeing this right?
Yeah, I'm still under green there, Scott.
And there's the leaders that come up behind side by side for the lead. Greg Mall and Jeff Merck. They got Dave Trek 3 wide here. They're wrestling to figure this out. Greg Mall on the outside putting up quite the fight here. I got to imagine maybe Merck figured there would be a caution, maybe let off a little bit there. But continues to lock him up in turn 3. We saw the brakes, the left front lock up, and Greg Mall trying to take the top spot from Merck.
Yeah, that car is a lap car of Trent Drum, that yellow and black car. That was the car that spun that didn't cause the caution, but it seemed like that should have. I think he did a complete 360 in the middle of all that traffic. So kind of amazed that we're still in the green, but that cost Trent Drum a lap there.
Let's go back here. Let's go on board with Trent Drum. This is a replay right now. We'll see what Trent did here. Looks like he spun all by himself on the outside there of turn number 4. There's the pile up off turn number 4. Christopher Davis doing a good job getting by there. JJ Garrett snuck by. David Trek unfortunately got to the inside wall, and Kerry Cleaver brings it to a stop there off turn 4 to avoid damage, but amazingly stays under green flag.
Yeah, I can't believe that, Scott. That is pretty amazing. So, hey, sometimes you need good luck, and especially for us broadcasters, we like seeing the green flag.
Yeah.
So just going here, looking at the battles out on the track right now. Everybody pretty much single file. Wesley Holland trying to gain some positions. He's currently up to 7th from his 11th place starting spot. So Wesley Holland's starting to pick his way through the field. Just ahead of him, he has Steve Cigars in that Valvoline at 016 car, which caught my eye tonight.
Yeah, we've got a new feature here. We'll feature with Wes Holland first. We're talking about driver stats from Colorado Springs. 33 starts on the season. I think he started every single race. 6 wins, 19 top 5s, 23 top 10s. Those are the stats that'll get you on your way to a championship race next week. Wes Holland doing a heck of a job here inside the top 10.
Yeah, he's doing just what he needs to do. Meanwhile, I'm looking back here at Vernon Margheim. Vernon Margheim, let's see, what position is he in? I lost his spot here, but it seems like he's back. Back here a few spots. He's back here in 8th after starting in 5th, and he's losing more positions to the 92 of Rod Minton right now.
Yeah, looks like Eric Talon as well. Got to look on the inside, try to take advantage of the slip up. Oh, as Eric clips the inside. Herb there gets it righted and stays straight. Does a nice job. Vernon Margine continuing to lose spots here. Charles Widener, the next one to look to take advantage on the inside, turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, so just behind these guys, back here for 13th and 14th, we've got Christopher Davis going under Mr. Excitement in that 79 Caterpillar Camaro. And both those guys are teammates, but I guarantee you that J.J. Garrett is going to try his best to stay up there. But Christopher Davis gets that position.
Things pretty well single filed out here. We'll go back up front. Greg Mall right on the heels of Jeff Merck, looking to keep the pressure on. I think Greg Mall has kind of got nothing to lose. He's outside of the playoffs, outside looking in, but Jeff Merck, on the other hand, has a lot to lose. As we looked at those point standings early on tonight and just saw that he's only a few points to the good, if I remember right, Ken. Is that what you're showing?
Yeah, Merck is, I believe it was 17 points off the lead, but all the guys that are behind him are only that far off, too. They're only 21 points, so Merck only has to give up a couple of positions so he can find himself an outsider real quick.
Exactly, yep. See if Mark can race with a good head on his shoulders tonight. I'm sure his patience is going to be key and trying to realize the big picture before potentially going for everything, going for broke and losing what you have, looking at a playoff race next week. So it'd be
Scott,
interesting.
Scott, one of the things I always like about Martinsville, I kind of like it and dread it at the same time, is traffic, right? Traffic plays an integral role on how sometimes these races shake out. And I was watching the two leaders work on Jeff Gilmore, who's currently and patiently staying in that lucky dog position. But Jeff Gilmore, who's normally pretty quick, finds himself a lap down early from that spin and was kind enough to let the two leaders by. But sometimes traffic can have a major influence on how a race is dictated.
Absolutely, especially no place better than that for better for that than Martinsville here. There's going to be a lot of lap traffic, even with a limited field, 23 cars tonight. But there's nowhere for these cars to hide with only a half a mile of asphalt here out for these guys. So certainly a good point as we look down the scope there in front of our leaders. It looks like there's more lap traffic coming up. There's our leader, Jeff Merck, and side by side racing in front of him looks like Chris Voiles and David Schreck racing for their own spots here.
Yeah, and those two guys that are in front of him could have an incident too, and that could spoil the leaders' plans as well. As Dave Schreck goes to the outside, and as the leaders come up, he's going to give that position or give the lead lap away to those two guys from Bandit Motorsports. 1, 2, 3 Bandit Motorsports teammates came for bear tonight.
Certainly. Jack Watts doing a heck of a job keeping the top 5 here. That's 4th spot. And then we're back to Johnny Hamby, who had a great run last week at, where were we last week? Homestead? Johnny Hamby did a heck of a job. I think he was runner-up, I believe.
Yep, second place. Johnny Hamby says he's been trying to get these oval things down, and looks like he's accomplishing it, doing really well here at Martinsville.
Yeah, from Covington, Georgia, Johnny Hamby comes to us. The 70 car with 11 starts on the season. No wins just yet, but a couple top 5s, a couple top 10s. On his way, I'm sure he's having a good time. Good to see Johnny joining the league halfway through the year this year. Under attack now from Wes Holland, just behind him in 6th spot.
Yeah, and you can see they're going through lap traffic right now, and Wes Holland being extremely patient. Oh, almost gets into the back of Johnny Hamby there. As I said, he was being really patient, but I think that was just a checkup from Johnny there. But Wes Holland is showing a lot of discipline out here tonight, and it's very easy to get impatient at a short track like this, and you usually see tempers flare sometimes. But being really patient, I think Wes Holland is running the long game tonight. But, Scott, every time I mention Wes Holland kind of being cool and collected, he always goes out there and proves me wrong.
Back here, one more. Looks like Steve Cigars passing the lap car of David Schreck. And then we're back to Rod Mitten coming to us from Swedesboro, New Jersey. In 8th spot, Eric Talent doing a great job just behind him in that 5 Gary Yamamoto car. Coming to us from Griffin, Georgia. Let's see what Eric, I know, has been in pretty much every race here. 26 starts. No wins just yet, but top 5 and a couple top 10s to boot. Nice job for Eric here in the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. back here on Vernon Margheim now. He's working on some lap traffic. He's got Eric Talent just ahead of him in 9th. So Vernon, kind of last car in the top 10 there in 10th. Charles Widener getting by David Schreck right now. Charles Widener seems to be, let me see, where did Charles start? He started in 11th, so he's up 2 positions. Kind of looking at the back of that 33 car, trying to get back up there. I know Charles would like to get a good finish to these last few races here.
He's under heat from Christopher Davis, it looks like, who's unfortunately did not make the playoff cut going forward down to the top 8, so he's got nothing to lose. Sporting the pink cancer awareness rims that we do in multi-league, but looking for nothing but a win here and a good run at Martinsville to close out the season here.
Yeah, and those two guys are teammates, Highline Racing, I believe it is.
Yes, I think that is accurate. Michael Milfelt. You have a team for, you know what team Michael Milfelt is on, Ken?
I don't right off the top of my head there, Scott.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can look it up.
Michael Milfelt down here in 13th spot. And then Mr. Excitement. It's got to be one of the bigger movers on the day. Let's take a look. Up 7 spots from his 21st starting spot up to 14th right now. So coming to us from Knightstown, Indiana. What was that, Ken?
So I do have a team for Michael Milfelt, and that is Performance Motorsports. That's David Schreck and Billy Bumgarner. Billy Bumgarner has also had a pretty good season. He's not in the playoffs. We're under caution. And it looks like one of our playoff guys. So looks like Vernon Margheim might have been the chief problem under that caution. Not sure what happened there.
I think so. We'll go back and take a look here. Christopher Voiles may be involved. This is a replay off of corner number 4. Christopher Voiles. Oh, wow. Block track in front of him. That happened before he got there. Let's take a look. David Schreck and Trent Drum again, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, almost a mirror image of what happened earlier. This is Trent Drum off of turn number 4 again, sideways. There you see him in the yellow and black car, 12 across Billy Bumgarner's nose. Here comes Christopher Davis, gets blocked up here. Or is this maybe the... No, this is the previous one. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's one of the previous ones there, Scott, I think. I was trying to follow. Meanwhile, I guess you can look for that replay, but most of the cars headed to pit lane. 6 cars, it looks like, stayed out, including our leader, the 60 car, Jeff Merck. And it looks like the 58, 75 all stayed out, but now they're all in pit lane. It looks like Merck is the only guy that didn't come on to pit lane now at this point. So interesting strategy there employed by Jeffrey.
Wow, yeah. For sure. I do want to find that replay because, like I said, Vernon Margheim, I think, was involved in that. So let's back it up.
Yeah, he's one of our playoff contenders there too, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm really interested in it. Let's see. Pit stops. Give me a second to find this. I'm going to find it here.
I have faith. We have faith. We got a heck of a producer up there in the booth.
All right. I think we found it. This looks like, here's Vernon here. Oh, with the front end damage, though, we'll see. Oh, there we go. So let's back it up off of turn number 2. Him and Christopher Voiles. There's Christopher Voiles. Gets sideways off turn 2. Collects Vernon to the inside wall. And there it is. Michael Milfelt Jr., J.J. Garrett, Christopher Davis barely getting by. And, yeah, I think started with Christopher Voiles getting loose off of turn 2 and then collecting our playoff contender, Vernon Margheim.
Yeah, Vernon Margheim's going to have to do what Jeffrey Merck did last week and try to run his way back up front there with that damage. If you remember last week at Homestead, Merck did a header into the wall there and actually finished, I believe, in 9th, if I'm not mistaken, and saved his playoff contention, at least for now.
Absolutely.
Well, the lights are out in the pace car, Scott. Jeff Merck will lead this thing. He's staying on the inside there. He's got his teammate, Greg Mull, on the outside. Behind Jeff Merck is Justin Mull in 3rd. Jack Watts out there in 4th. Johnny Hamby rounds out your top 5. And also we got some people in the in chat giving shout-outs to their favorite drivers. We got Shelly Mall wishing Greg Mull a great race. And then we got senior Wes Holland out there wishing his boy success tonight.
We'll go from the roof cam of Greg Mall for Shelley here. Here's Greg on the outside, starting in second into the Geico restart zone. Mark is away on the inside. Lap number 41. We're already a third of the way through this sucker. Jeff Merck to the inside, looking to take a commanding lead once again. Greg Mall says, not so fast. I'm not going to give this one up to you just yet. Still hanging on that outside, doing a great job.
Yeah, and I think Greg Mall knows that Jeff Merck was the only one that didn't come in for tires, so Greg Mall is going to see if he's got the tire advantage. Try to get around his teammate there as he challenges on the outside. This is going to be an interesting strategy from Jeff Merck, because maybe he was watching Greg Mall from the spring race and seeing that he was able to get it done.
Exactly, that could be that could work. Could work out perfectly to Greg Mall's advantage here, as we saw that strategy, tried it, and could this be a huge detriment? We'll see how far back Jeff Merck ends up falling back here. Hopefully he doesn't get too frustrated as cars continue to pass him, knowing that he could be on the verge of that cutoff spot for next week.
Yeah, now his teammate Justin Michael looking to the outside, the inside, trying to find a way to get around Jeff Merck. So I'm sure there you go. You see Justin Michael, well, he got to the outside there, but couldn't quite make it stick, so has to fall back in line.
Shelly Mall in the chat gives us a thumbs up. Mr. Wes Holland, I think we said hello to him. Anybody else in the chat, let us know you're here. Let us know you're enjoying the racing here at Martinsville. Go back through the pack a little bit, see if we can find some side-by-side racing. Wes Holland back in 7th right now, looking at the inside of Rod Mitten. Trying to pick up that spot with fresh tires here.
And it looks like he accomplishes that, Scott. Meanwhile, just behind them, Eric Talent almost gets into the back of Rod Mitten. Just behind Wesley Holland there. I think Rod Mitten was checking up, but Eric Talent staying off the back bumper there and avoiding an incident.
Here's out the backside of Rod Mitten. Been as high as 6th tonight, as low as 13th. Been kind of a roller coaster ride for Rod, but doing a great job there.
I moved back here to Vernon Margine back there in 12th to see how he's doing. He's running behind the 38 car of Christopher Davis, seeing if he can make some time up, but it doesn't look like it. He actually looks like he's fallen off Christopher Davis. This is not an aero-dependent track, so you know a lot of that sheet metal damage usually doesn't. You don't have to pay too hefty a price here at Martinsville, but it looks like Vernon Margine's really struggling with that car tonight.
I think so. With that front end damage could certainly play a factor, as well as the fact that you see his name lit up there, the red box on the left side in the ticker column. In 12th spot right now, knowing that he is a playoff contender. And let's throw the points up real quick. Vernon Margine is he's safe by, is my math right, by about 9 points, 9 positions or so.
Based on how they're currently running.
No, that's based on coming into this race. So yeah, it could.
Yeah, that's correct. But Vernon just got into the wall there while we were talking about him, and now he's fallen back another couple positions here. So Vernon Margine steadily going backwards. So this is going to be good news for a couple of those drivers. Like, let's see. No, I'm not on the point, so it might help if I was there. So just bringing it back up here, Scott. So Vernon Margine was 12 points off the lead, as a matter of fact, and the closest car to him was Jeffrey Merck. That would be your 4th place position, and Jeff Merck is currently in 3rd place at the moment, or in 2nd place. So Billy Bumgardner, Rod Mitten, Charles Widener, all those drivers that are ahead of Vernon Margine could be beating Vernon Margine at this point in time. So if you look just ahead of Vernon Margine, I'm just taking a quick look here. We got Charles Widener. Yeah, so Charles Widener's currently, Rod Mitten, it looks like Rod Mitten, who's running in 7th, would be the guy in 4th place in points right now. If I had, I'm just doing some rough math here, Scott, but I'm guessing right now it's Rod Mitten.
All right,
That's
cool. Could Rod be in, and that would knock Vernon out? Is that what you're guessing right now at the current standings?
That's what I'm guessing right now.
Yeah. Back up front, looks like Jack Watts is doing a heck of a job holding on to the top 5 here, along with Johnny Hamby running in 5th. And Jeff Merck holding his own here. Greg Mall, of course, got by for the lead. 2.8 seconds out front. We'll show you what that looks like. Greg Mall to the start-finish line. And then there's the gap back to 2nd place, Jeff Merck. And then 3rd place, Justin Michael here.
Yeah, Merck is doing a great job holding on to that. Meanwhile, you got Wes Holland sneaking into that picture. Him and Johnny Hamby still what is that, 5th and 6th place there. So that 41 machine hasn't put too much pressure on that 70, but I imagine now that Wesley Holland's got the leaders in his sight that he'll start putting more and more pressure on. Although you got to give a shout out to Johnny Hamby and that John Deere Chevy Camaro. He's doing a great job running out with these leaders with so few races under his belt in the league. Doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely. I think anybody that can hold off somebody like Wes Holland with as much speed and consistency as he does, as looks like JJ Garrett getting loose off of turn number 4. Caution is out for that one. We'll go back to a replay here and see what happened to JJ off of corner number 4 real quick. There he goes on the inside of Christopher Davis. And off of turn number 4. Well, not that time, huh?
Yeah, he, well, it was a self-spin. We don't call him Mr. Excitement for nothing, but I think it was a lap after that, Scott. I think Christopher Davis got by.
Yeah, there it is. Right there it is right there. JJ just overcorrects a little bit into the inside wall and pretty much end his run for a win here tonight.
Yeah, he kept it down low. What I do like about that, the car got loose, stepped out on him, and instead of losing control of it and going up in front of his teammate Christopher Davis, he kept it down low.
Down on pit road, looks like lots of excitement here. Greg Maul on pit road. Others have stayed out. Wes Holland, Rod Mitten, Eric Talent. Jason Hughes goes around the outside for the lucky dog position. Man, this really shuffles things up, huh?
It really does, and I'm going to lose count now at this point, so I'm going to have to rethink my fuel strategy. It's interesting because I could have swore Greg Maul is going to beat Jeff Merck off the pits. Of course, Greg Maul had that 2-second lead on Jeff Merck. And then his teammate, 87, comes out in third, it looks like. But after seeing all those cars pit that last pit stop, I'm kind of surprised that so many drivers came in on this stop, because I would think that with 63 laps to go, 62 laps to go, that everybody was good on fuel. So I have to take a look. It looks like Wesley Holland might have stayed out. He did. Rod Mitten in second looks like he stayed out as well. So quite a few drivers stayed out. It looks like 6 drivers stayed out, all the way down to Jeff Gilmore in the 57, who has also brought out the first caution of the night, now finds himself almost in that top 5. And then Greg Maul will start in 7th, which first car off pit lane.
Yeah, a couple lap cars in between them there. David Trick, Trent Drum, and Wally Tierheimer, all lap cars in between. They'll fall to the back here once we turn the lights off on the pace car.
You can see the field trying to sort itself out here. I think we got about a lap and a half before we go green. Everybody trying to find their positions here. Sometimes, depending on where the caution comes out, it's kind of challenging to get the cars organized again. So iRacing has to get the field reestablished here. Well, I got to say, it's not a bad move for our leaders to come into pit lane when they did. They're going to have the fresh tires, and they're only going back to 7th, and they got some pretty good drivers in front of them that I think will race them pretty clean. So it might have been a good strategy here.
I think so. What I'm also noticing in the standings, Jeff Merck basically more or less saved a set of tires, right? He's running in 7th right now as it comes to 1 to go, trying to get things lined up. But Jeff Merck back in 7th is side by side with Greg Maul, but he's got an extra set of tires now. Not that I would anticipate them needing or wanting to use all 5 sets of tires tonight, but nonetheless, my point is I don't think that staying out that first pit stop when Jeff Merck was the only one that stayed out, I don't think it's going to hurt him all that much in the grand scheme of things tonight.
Well, the pace car is ducked into pit lane. They've got Rod Mitten out there in front looking for that Geico restart zone, making sure he hits it just right. He's in the zone. The green flag is out. Gets a nice start there. You see him get to the outside there, not quite, and then get that position away. Meanwhile, just behind him, you got Charles Widener following through. I thought Eric Talent might make a challenge on the outside. Doesn't do it. He's under pressure from the 57 car of Jeff Gilmore there.
Oh, looks like some action there in turn 3. Green flag is still out, but boggling things
Justin
up is there.
Michael in big trouble. Justin Michael just almost had a moment there, Scott. Sorry to interrupt, but you'll see Justin Michael way back in the field now. Got up against the wall, bounced off a car or two. I'm not sure what happened, but
we see some right front damage on that Beretta Toyota Camry 87 championship contender. With 12 wins on the season, could that be a factor here? But Wes Holland goes to his inside, and here comes Werner Margheim. How's that to show how far off pace Justin Michael is here? We're back in 10th spot right now. Werner makes the pass, changing things up.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Justin Michael's really falling back right now, so hopefully there's no suspension damage on the car. I think he's got it gathered back up, but watching all that, I would say that's a heck of a save that Justin Michael did. He was kind of in big trouble back there. I thought that was going to get real ugly. Meanwhile, up front, Charles Widener challenging for the lead on the inside quarter there. Rod Minton couldn't quite get it down there in 3 and 4. Going to try again in 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got just behind him, we got the 60 car of Jeff Merck and Greg Mall back there in 4th.
Here's Charles Widener. We'll use one of our cameras tonight as he's driving there. A lot of concentration, trying to look for the lead here. Rod Minton, he's got his eyes set for the prize. Putting the pressure on here as he dives into turn number 1, tries to get to Rod's outside there.
Yeah, and Jeff Merck is now looking at the inside of Charles Widener. If you notice, the top 3 cars all got that red banner on their windshield, all playoff contenders. So, you know, Charles wants to stay in this playoff. So does Rod Minton. Rod Minton right now is currently in this thing, and he was on an outsider looking in. So you know Rod wants to have a great night tonight. I think that goes the same for Charles Widener.
All these guys for sure. Greg Mall included in that. And like I said, playoff contenders here. Rod Minton, Jeff Merck, Charles Widener, and then Greg Mall, our first non-playoff contender here, looking at the inside of Charles Widener down the front stretch. And Charles gives it to him.
Yeah, I looked down at my timing and scoring there, and passes were made on the inside. There you got Jeffrey Merck looking at the inside of Rod Minton. Rod Minton, of course, is out on those older tires. Jeff Merck's making that new set of rubber pay off right now, trying to get his teammate to follow him around, or maybe not trying, but maybe hoping his teammate would get held up there by the 92. But I don't think that's going to happen. Greg Mall's been strong all race long, not to mention he's got that win in the springtime. So Greg Mall, I expect him to stay in this thing all night long.
Absolutely. Like I said, the game is pretty much tied back up in terms of Jeff Merck and Greg Mall on the same set of tires. Same pit strategy now. However, Jeff's got an extra set of tires in the pits waiting if he should need them towards the end of this thing with just 50 laps to go. Counting them down. We're over halfway here at Martinsville. It's a good one up front. A lot of battles throughout the field. We'll try to follow those, and as well as the storylines with our playoff contenders. Speaking of which, looks like the 3 of them going 1, 2, 3 here back in the field. Wes Holland, Justin Michael, and Werner Margheim wrestling for P number 8. Took some great racing back here. Looks like Justin Michael, I think, has gotten back on pace, figured things out, got settled back in, and trying to pick spots off here.
Yeah, I was just looking at the 41 car. He's been beating up the back bumper of that Budweiser car of Jack Watts there, trying to get around him. It looks like he's going to try it on the outside. I think
Justin Michael sideways. Yellow flag is out,
but he saved it.
Wow. I saw exactly what happened there. Wes Holland went to the inside. We saw it kind of live there. I'm sorry. Wes Holland went to the outside of Jack Watts, got a little bit out of shape, and then Justin Michael, I think, let off a little bit to cross him over on the inside and stay out of any harm's way, and ended up clipping that curb on the inside and getting out of shape, going sideways, out of control off of turn number 4. Much like we saw a couple other drivers do already tonight.
Well, with Justin Michael now being almost the last car in the lead lap, I think he can come in and get that car worked on and maybe beat out some of the fenders it's damaged on it, get some new rubber on it, and maybe make a challenge back up towards the front here. We got, looks like 48 laps to go currently, so we go green, about 45 laps to go.
Yeah, kind of looking at a nice blimp view here that give us kind of a rough idea of the cars coming down pit road. There you see them there. Jeff Gilmore, Christopher Davis, Eric Talent, Michael Milfeld, Billy Bumgarner. And who's that red car all the way back there? Kerry Cleaver.
Oh, okay. Said red, so I just assumed Jeff Marks. Hey, why don't we bring up our second last, our springtime winner? Why don't we bring him into the booth and have a chat with Mr. Greg Mall?
Sure. Here you go, Ken. I'll work the cameras for you.
Hey, Greg, up here in the booth with Scott and myself. How's your race going out there tonight?
Well, so far so good. Kind of curious to see if we can actually run this one out. I don't know what's really going on in the back of the field. But so far, things have been staying relatively clean up front. 7 Fortune car has been okay. Just need to find a little bit of speed so we can get around Merck again and stay out towards the front.
Well, one thing I noticed is you're not going to be able to do it on zero stop strategy.
Yeah, the strategy has been thrown out the window as far as the spring race goes. So I don't know. It's power doesn't seem to be as severe as I was kind of expecting. So there's that. But yeah, having some longer green flag runs this time definitely throws the fuel mileage strategy out the window. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of self spins out there. Are these cars pretty free out there tonight, getting the power down?
Well, I don't know what exactly. I mean, it could be a combination of things, whether it's brake bias settings or what have you. Technique into the corners is huge at this track, and it seems to me like on occasion it may kind of step out on you in terms of the center of the corner, but I don't know. I can't say that I really haven't had much of a feeling getting loose into the corners per se. So
well, before we send you back to your team, we'll just say good luck on getting a second clock tonight. It looks like you're definitely primed for it. We'll see if what you got for the field tonight. I know you're not a playoff contender, but I know you're going to give him hell tonight.
Yeah, we're giving Merck everything he's got, so we're hoping that this thing can kind of run green the next 40 laps or so.
All right, man. Good luck. Thanks for talking with us.
Yep.
There you have it. There was Greg Mall, and as we get ready to reset the field here, with Jeff Merck, his teammate, on the inside there, getting ready to start. We'd have brought Jeff Merck into the booth there, Scott, but I looked down at our camera feeds, and Jeff Merck forgot to turn his camera back on.
Yeah, he sent me a message in the beginning and said if he gets interviewed, he'll turn his camera on, but of course, interviews are spontaneous, and we never know what we're going to want, so I don't know.
Well, he needs to send me those messages then, too. Anyway,
right.
Pace car is in as Jeffrey Merck brings him to the Geico restart zone here. Anytime green flag is out, there goes Jeffrey Merck. Got a nice start there, runs the car out to a little bit to the outside ahead of his teammate. His teammate will fall in line, it looks like here, or maybe try an outside move. Rod Mitten just behind him in third.
Things file out single file pretty quickly here in the top 8 or so. Looks like the first side-by-side battles back here with Wes Holland again on the outside. Justin Michael, we saw that's where the issue started last caution, as he goes to make that pass on Jack Watts on the inside. See if he can get it done this time by.
Yeah, it hasn't got it done yet. Those two are side by side. Before the caution came out, that 41 car was all over that 77 trying to get by, and I think he desperately was to get by. It's one of those feelings, Scott. I know you've had the feeling you're on a track and the two guys are pretty equal, but you feel like you're faster than the guy in front, and you just want to get by.
Funny how the guy in back always feels like he's the faster one, right?
Yeah. And Jack Watts is going to get the better of Wes Holland at this point. Wes Holland could not make that pass back down on the inside. They get single file, but just behind them, you got, look at that, Werner Margheim on the inside of Justin Michael there, trying to get that position away from Justin Michael.
Again, this is a situation, I think, where you've got two people with two different agendas. Justin Michael, of course, with the points cushion, I think. He's got, not so much to lose, but Werner Margheim has to be cautiously aggressive, knowing that he came up with some damage early on in this race, lost some positions, and I think he's going to be struggling for every point that he can get his hands on tonight, knowing that he's potentially in the red zone when it comes to making the playoff cut for next week.
Yeah, a lot of different stories here, but as we said at the top of the show, these final 4, we're going to zero out these points next week, and best finisher wins it, I guess. So yeah, it's going to be a cage fight here tonight at Martinsville. We've got 38 laps to go, so we're ticking them off tonight. Very few cautions, 3 cautions so far for 19 laps, Scott. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, these are flying by here at Martinsville, about 16 or so. Let's see, last time by 19.6 second laps. Jack Watts.
Jack Watts it.
Jack Watts
I'm
running.
I have to go back and look, make sure that wasn't Wesley Holland. No, Wesley Holland wouldn't do anything.
All right. Let's rewind that here while the field gets under control of the pace car. Oh boy, I don't want to jinx it here, but just off the corner here, I think he all by himself kind of loops it around, maybe under the pressure, looking in the rearview mirror of Wes Holland. But
I think you're right, Scott. It looked like he was on the outside there, and when you're not in the perfect line to put the throttle down, I think Jack Watts was driving really hard to keep Wes behind him, and that's kind of what happened. He was a victim of racing that mirror.
Yeah, so I'm got a little bit sideways, gets loose, and I think Wes did make some contact, but it was after Jack Watts was already out of shape here. So
All right, we'll try it again. Jack Watts headed to pit lane to get any damage that occurred to that machine. The 58 car is also on pit lane. We haven't talked about Mr. Smoke pretty much all night long, and I'm almost afraid to because I feel like he watches the broadcast while we're racing, and I'm afraid every time we look at him or talk to him, he puts it in the wall. But he should be safe right now as he's getting 4 tires on that 58 car.
There it is. Sharp-looking car from Bad Apple Racing. SRX series car. That was one of the first next-gen cars I think I painted with patented paints. Came up pretty slick, I think.
And his teammate, Bad Apple Racing, Wesley Holland, out there currently in 5th right now. So I know he's usually, the last couple of races, I think he was maybe traveling for business or something like that, because I think he was in Reno or something like that, or maybe Tucson. I can't remember where he was, but he was in the YouTube chat cheering on his teammate.
I find, look at the playoff standings right now in the vertical ticker there in the standings. Position 1 through 7, these playoff guys have locked up 6 out of the top 7 spots. Billy Bumgarner, haven't talked much about him, back there in 13th, still in the playoff hunt. A little bit of right front damage. We saw him get collected with Trent Drum's incident early in this race.
Yeah, a lot of our playoff guys are having issues. The 2 guys that aren't, well, I shouldn't say 2 guys. Well, 2 guys if I count Rod Minton. So Rod Minton and Jeff Merck so far keeping it nice and clean tonight. And Charles Widener back there too, still in 3rd. Didn't take any pit stops this time by either there, Scott. And then Wes Holland, now that he's gotten by Jack Watts, Wes Holland sits in 4th. So you know Wes Holland's going to be charging hard. Actually, he's in 5th. My mistake.
Cool. Yep, that's it. Looking at one of my cameras here. That's me here broadcasting. So we'll have this one, and we'll have me and Dick side by side next week for the finale here at the Stone River Outfitters Cup Series finale from Phoenix Motor Speedway. Should be an exciting one. It's been a long season, Ken, all the way since February.
I can't believe I made it. It has been a long season. I can't believe I made I think I've made every race but one, which is pretty impressive. I think, what race? And, well, we had a couple drop weeks because you and I have vacation time sometimes, too, as well. So
Yeah, we like our vacation time.
There was a couple drop weeks for the broadcasters, I do remember. We got to miss out on Daytona, which I wasn't too heartbroken about.
I think, who was it in the beginning? We missed 1 or 2 races in the beginning of the season. I think that Kyle Chadwick was winning, and then...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Says, oh, I always win. Chris Voiles got a race without us broadcasting, too, so he got a win. Anyway, the pace car is in. Jeff Merck's going to lead him to the green flag as we hit the Geico restart zone, and he is away. Got that loud pedal down. Just like always, Greg Mull, his teammate, under pressure from the 92 Rod Minton there, and it looks like they all fall in line there. Meanwhile, behind them, for 4th, that 41 car on the inside of the 95 of Charles Widener now trying to get that position, and just lurking behind those two, you got that 87 coming in back into this picture.
87's got his wheels underneath him back again. Still with a little bit of right front damage, but looking to pick up spots here and protect his points lead that he shared pretty much the entire season. With 12 wins on the season, Justin Michael looks to the inside of Charles Widener. 2 silver cars going at it here, with Wes Holland blocking up the spot here. That is 4. Wes is up in 4th right now. This is the battle for 5th. Charles and Justin side by side.
Yeah, it looks like the top 6 cars are all playoff contenders there. You can see Charles Widener back there challenging that 87 on the outside. You know Charles Widener does not want to give up any more positions. He's on the bubble and could be on his way out. So Charles Widener trying to get a good finish, but it does no help to him. Rod Minton is up there running in 2nd, currently under pressure from Wesley Holland. Now Wesley Holland making a move on the inside of that 92 car.
There it is. You see him complete that pass. The inside of Rod Minton goes Wes Holland with the playoff banner. 6 wins on the season for Wes Holland.
Yeah, I was just looking back there. Charles Widener now really struggling with the car. I think he got really aggressive, kind of overheated those tires, been really struggling, starting to fall back in the clutches of Vernon Margheim. Another one of those cars with the red windshield banner now, putting pressure on... JJ Garrett going around back here. Yellow flag is out for Mr. Excitement off of turn number 4. We'll go back here as he loops it back around. Let's go see what happened with JJ off of corner number 4.
Let's go on board. Why not? Looks to the inside of Jeff Gilmore, see how much space he leaves him here. Tries to pinch him. Again, that curb has been the subject of so many drivers here getting into trouble off of turn number 4. Spins it around by himself, and fortunately doesn't collect anybody this time.
Yeah, Scott, you know, as a driver, those curbs here at Martinsville can be really tricky. And, you know, I think you and I both have a lot of experience here, and hitting those curbs, you just know that you can't get back on the throttle.
Exactly, yeah, you got to know your whereabouts and where you are in relation to those curbs. Sometimes it's not even that the drivers are steering towards the curb. You know this too, Ken, that sometimes you see something happen to you, something happen in front of you, your natural instinct is to let off the gas to avoid getting into them, and then next thing you know, by letting off the gas, the car kind of naturally turns a little bit tighter, and next thing you know, you're into that curb on the inside.
Well, I got some big news. Jeffrey Merckx on pit lane, and I'm not sure what happened. I can't believe he would pit unless he got black flag. So, well, he's taking tires. This is a very strange strategy by Jeff Merck. We're going to have 20 laps to go, and he's going to put himself basically, it looks like at my scoring, about 14th position after this.
I'm showing 19 cars on the lead lap. Could he be all the way back to 19th here?
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I was misreading that. So it looks like some cars got the wave around or something. I think it looked like they were a lap down. So, yeah, it'll be starting in 19th.
I gotta imagine the guys up front, Greg Mall, Wes Holland, Rod Mitten, Justin Michael, Johnny Hamby.
Well, since you got a camera in his car, why don't you bring him up and have a chat with the lad? Yeah,
let's do that. Let's see if we can get Jeff Mark. Let's find his car here, and let's see what... where's he at? There he is, down in Bandit Motorsports. Jeff, talking to you here about the pit strategy tonight with 22 laps to go. You got to talk to me, bud. The only one down pit road. What are you thinking here?
I think I might have screwed up, but I'm in 16th. I got fresh tires. We'll see what happens. That's pretty much the only thing left we can do.
Yeah, sounds good. With just under 20 laps to go, we know coming into this race, you're kind of on the bubble. You're in on points so far, but you need to not have a bad day. Is this how aggressive you're going to be on this restart, knowing that you don't necessarily know where you're going to fall as the race unfolds here?
I'm not going to be super aggressive. I'm going to take what the car is going to give me. I know I got the fastest car. I was just afraid if I stayed out, everybody would pit, and then I'm out there on old tires for 20 laps, and I could end up back here. At least now I know if I'm on fresh tires, I'm the one that's got, you know, more grip inside, outside. I can pretty much put the car where I want it.
Sounds good, and with 20 laps to go here, we'll be watching that action. I'm sure you're going to pick up a few spots, but take care of the fenders on that New England Racing Museum Toyota Camry, would you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to try to bring her back nice and pretty for you. Hopefully I can at least get in the top 3. I mean, my goal tonight is to be in the top 4 when the race is over, so I can go race for a championship next weekend.
All right, sounds good. We'll let you get back to work here, Mark. Good luck here as the race closes down.
Well, that was great talking to Jeff Merck and see what the strategy is. I don't know. That's some crazy talk there, but the pace car is ducking in. We got Greg Mall now leading this thing. Got Wes Holland now up to second on his outside as they head towards the Geico restart zone. Rod Mitten back there in third. You can see Wes Holland backed off a little bit there. I'm not sure what's going on here. They're in the zone, and there we go. What the heck's going on with 41 there? Kind of giving up a lot of spots. Kind of a bad start for the 41.
That was a very, very interesting start there. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not very fluent with these restart rules. I know iRacing implemented something here a couple months ago about the restart zone, and so I don't know if it's something related to that. I'm not exactly the one to be full speed on that, but oh, some action back here. Werner Margheim and Justin Michael. Like Johnny Hamby there trying to make up moves on the inside.
Yeah, and I think the 9 car of David Schreck did a header in the wall. We didn't catch it. We stayed green, so that's good, but yeah, a lot of action already on this restart, and that's one of the things I was questioning with Merck. It's like, oh, we got Mr. Excitement in the wall. I think he had help this time, though, Scott. Have to go back there and take a look, see what happened to that Caterpillar Camaro there.
Wow, caution out once again. I saw a couple of cars involved in that one. Lap 104. Let's see. JJ Garrett pit stop incident. Look back here as JJ Garrett off of turn number 4. This is. We'll see what happens this time as things happen around him. And gets into... oh, maybe it's the next lap around. Guess it must be. Yeah. Let's go run one more time here with JJ.
Yeah, I just happened to catch the tail end of it there, Scott.
Yep, there it is. Just gets a little help from Jason Hughes. Wally Tierhammer comes in, T-Bones, JJ Garrett, and then Christopher Voles comes in and kind of brings it to a stop there, not involving any of our playoff contenders. Jeff Merck gets safely by on the inside. You can see him down there.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. Wally, we have Wally down. I see him down there in Discord. Kind of having a tough night tonight here at Martinsville. So let's see where Jeff Merck got up to on the couple laps of green we had. He actually looks like he lost a position. I don't know why, but I'm showing him in 17th. Scott, is that what you're showing?
I am showing Jeff Merck in 17th spot. That is correct.
So the one thing Merck's got to hope for is that he doesn't lose a position every time there's a caution, because that strategy is not going to pay off either.
Well, one thing he has going for him is there's not that many positions left to lose. So.
And we're going to probably go green with 12 laps to go, so he's got a hill to climb tonight, that's for sure. And yeah, these laps will tick off quick. We've probably got 10 minutes worth of racing if we stay green, if that.
I gotta tell you, if I'm Jeff Merck, the thing that's making me probably the most nervous here is not the fact that Merck is down in the back of the pack here on the tail end of the lead lap, but also the fact that people like Werner Margheim are having a heck of a race tonight with damage. Had some incidents early on tonight, but running up in 6th spot. That's not what you want to see if you're Jeff Merck, knowing that you're racing him for the potential spot to get in for the final 4.
Yeah, not to mention you got Werner Margheim, but you also got Rod Minton out there. Rod Minton, I think he was 21 points off the lead here. I'm just going back there and taking a look. Where Rod Minton, yeah, he's 21 points. He was tied for 5th in points. So Rod Minton out there in 3rd place right now, having a solid night. Of course, he's out there on a little bit older tires. You've seen him struggling. So going to be trying to hold on to the positions there. But Rod Minton, very impressive run tonight, trying to stay in this thing.
I think if my math is right here, each spot is a point. So we're looking at Rod Minton is well more than 4 spots ahead of Jeff Merck. Man, Jeff Merck has got to make some moves here as things close down. Billy Bumgarner as well. Billy's running back in 14th right now, but we'll see if he can maybe pick up a couple spots, and this should be interesting as it shakes down at the end of this race.
The lights are out in the pace car. We'll have 12 to go when we go green. We got Greg Mall on the inside, chosen the inside lane. He's got Wes Holland. Kind of a terrible start that last restart. We'll see what Wes does this time. He's out there on the outside in 2nd. Rod Minton out there in 3rd on his inside. Johnny Hamby out there in 4th, and Justin Michael back up to that 5th spot, and he also rounds out that top 5.
Doing what he does best. Justin Michael putting together races from start to finish, get involved in an incident self-spinning there, and but got it back under control, well within the top 5 where he's most comfortable. Jeff Merck, gonna be exciting to see what he comes up with as we go back under green flag. Coming up to about 11 laps to go here at Martinsville. Greg Mall with a great start. Wes Holland again sitting back on that restart.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the start with Wes Holland. I think maybe he's just being extra cautious, but that's costing him right now. Justin Michael getting by. Oh, what the 41's just causing all kinds of bottlenecks there. Got Johnny Hamby and Christopher Davis had to check up. That caused Christopher Davis to lose some positions there. Oh, big wreck in the back. Jeff Gilmore, bunch of cars in this one.
Wow, that doesn't involve Jeff Merck. Not sure how much damage, but you see him sideways there with left front damage. Billy Bumgarner with damage, playoff contender. All kinds of drivers back here. Here goes Jeff Merck back underway. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out. I think it started with, oh gosh. Started with Jeff Gilmore getting loose here off of turn number 4. We'll play in slow motion, try to give you a nice view of this. Jeff Gilmore to the inside gets Jason Hughes. And then Eric Talent, Billy Bumgarner, Michael Milfeld brings it to a stop, but Jeff Merck, you see on the inside with no place to go, gets involved with those cars. Billy Bumgarner, man, that's a tough break. Let's watch it one more time from the cockpit view. Full speed from Jeff Merck. Here we go this time by. We'll see what he looks at. There's smoke on the outside. Chooses the inside. Gets blocked up. Nowhere to go. Billy Bumgarner and into the wall. Tough break for Merck.
Yeah, and, I like to give Merck a hard time. He's having a tough night right now, but, once he headed to pit lane, his bed was made. So, it's kind of one of those things, you kind of hope a bunch of guys follow you, and when they don't, it's like, oh, God.
Exactly, and I think from a mental standpoint, this too, Ken, that even if you have the fastest car, we heard a lot of confidence in Jeff's voice during the interview, but at the end of the day, you're still stuck back there, back in traffic with, being forced to make moves that, necessarily put you in a predicament, and there you go, find yourself in another wreck here off turn number 4, not what Jeff wanted tonight.
Yeah, I'm curious about the 41, Wes Holland's starts here tonight. Starting on the outside there in second, just hasn't been able to get that car going. Kind of a late start, causing kind of a bottleneck in the field there too for Wes Holland. So kind of interested to see what's going on with Mr. Holland.
We do have a camera on Mr. Wes Holland. He joined us. He's not on TeamSpeak yet, but he is on TeamSpeak. Why don't we get a chat with Wes Holland? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Down in Bad Apple. Here's Wes Holland. Wes, it's Scott Patton up in the booth here. I got to ask you on these restarts, showing a pretty solid run here in the top 4 or 5 spots, but what's happening on these restarts? You're on the outside lane. Seems you're consistently losing a couple spots as the green flag drops.
Yeah, I mean, with the new restart rule, you gotta stay at a given pace there at 40 mile an hour. So, and if you exceed it, you get the black flag. So I'm doing 40 side by side with Greg there, and once he gets through the center of the corner, coming out of 4, it just that inside lane's the shorter distance. So I'm getting gapped, and I can't speed up, or I'm gonna get the black flag. So I'm not gonna make that costly mistake this late in the year, and with a chance to go to the final 4. So just cautious with it.
Gotcha, absolutely. That's what I was thinking it was, but I'm the first one to admit that I'm not totally up to speed on these restart rules. So glad that you are, glad that you're aware of it, and putting together a smart race here in the top 5. Good luck as this thing winds down. It looks like about 5 to go when we go green here.
I appreciate it.
All right,
well, there was Wes Holland
back in Bad Apple Racing down there. There you heard it from Wes Holland himself with the restart rules, playing games with them here.
I got my question answered there, though, Scott. It was curious, though. So the lights are out. The pace car, we're going to rack and stack them. 5 to go when the lights are when the flag flies here green. Greg Mall will lead him to that flag. Rod Mitten on his outside. Justin Michael, his teammate, on the inside. Wes Holland will start this thing in 4th on the outside. Johnny Hamby in 5th, and Christopher Davis your top 6.
There it is. The pace car pulls into pit lane. We'll see if this is the last restart of the night. See what Rod Mitten can do on the outside with Greg Mall, your leader, on the inside with Shelly, his mom, cheering him on. The green flag is out. We're racing here at Martinsville. 5 to go. Count them down here.
Yeah, Justin Michael made a heck of a charge getting underneath Rod Mitten there. He wanted that position. Justin Michael back up to 2nd. You can see just behind them, Wes Holland still struggling. Got Johnny Hamby on his inside now. Wes Holland just, like he said during the chat, he wants to make this chase, and I think he's just trying to play it smart right here. He's got Charles Winder just behind him. We're going to have 3 laps to go next time. Bye, Scott.
Counting down pretty quick here. I think Wes knows that he's pretty comfortable within the making the championship race, assuming that he can keep this car in one piece. I think that's what he's comfortable doing and willing to do. I say that as he's aggressive on that outside, still trying to take that spot from Johnny Hamby. Johnny Hamby putting up a heck of a battle here. Just 3 laps to go here at Martinsville. Greg Mall pulling away 7/10 from Justin Michael for the lead.
Yeah, that's about the best battle on the track right now, that Johnny Hamby, Wes Holland battle. Still can't quite get the advantage on Hamby. Hamby showing some strength out there, even though he's not a playoff contender. Gets the inside advantage right now. It looks like he's got that position well in hand.
That he does. So Wes Holland single file, drops to the bottom there to block it up before Charles Winder gets into that spot. 2 laps to go, about a lap and a half up front. Your leader, Greg Mall, clock man. I'm not sure if there's another clock on for grabs here tonight, but Rod Mitten hard into the wall.
This is the last lap, though. We're going to keep it green. They're racing back to the flag here. So this is going to end it. And it's probably going to end Rod Mitten's chances here. That might allow Jeff Murk into the playoff. Meanwhile, Greg Mall is going to cross the line. He wins this race. His teammate, Justin Michael, just behind him, finishes in 2nd.
Wow, Johnny Hamby 3rd, Wes Holland 4th, Charles Winder in 5th. Heck of a run there to the stripe. We'll pull up the results here in a couple minutes, but I want to go back real quick. Let's look at that crash from Rod Mitten's car. We'll see what happened. This is coming to the white flag. Just gets loose. There it is. Loses control across the stripe for the white flag. Tough break for Rod Mitten. We'll see how the points shake out on this thing.
Yeah, tough break. Rod Mitten had been running up front all night, so I think that's going to be pretty damaging to his contention chances here. Meanwhile, we got Greg Mall out there on the front stretch. It looks like he's burning them down 2 in a row. Well, 2 at Martinsville anyway in a row. just outside. Didn't make the playoffs due to a missed race, I believe it was there, Scott, and tried to win it back. He got one win, and I think a second place. Didn't have enough points to get in the chase, but he finds victory lane here tonight. And, if you can't get in the championship, wins are always nice.
That it is, as he burns them down on the front stretch. 2 on the season, well, 3 total wins. I think this is win number 4 here, but 2 at Martinsville. Sweeps the series. Be fun talking to him here for the interview. We're also going to talk to Johnny Hamby, again, with a 3rd place finish here after runner-up last week, and then Justin Michael. We'll get those interviews queued up here momentarily. Looks like they're actually already in the interview room.
Yeah,
who do you want to talk to first, Ken?
I was hooking you up there, Scott.
Look at that. Appreciate that, Ken. Let's go back
and
and
our race winner for a change. I think we went backwards last week, so why don't we start off with the winner?
All right, here's Greg for you, Ken.
Hey, Greg, congrats on that win. I see you out there doing that Polish victory lap. Are you fond of that move?
Well, fond of it a couple times anyways, but yeah, definitely want to pay homage to old Al Kowicki and 7 car doing Polish victory lap coming to this place especially. So
I made a mistake. I'm going to get a little sidetracked here, but I had won a race and I didn't have enough fuel to drive it all the way around. It was an oval, and so Kim told me to back it up to the line, which I did, and then I got DQ'd because not every car had crossed the line yet. So I learned my lesson. I won't do that again. I says, well, no matter what, I'm going to keep going straight. But hey, congrats on that win. Two here at Martinsville all season. It looks like you are definitely the clock man. I think you've proven to be winning by your nickname there.
Yeah, definitely a special place for me to come to this racetrack each time on the schedule. Anytime this track pops up, regardless of what league I'm in, I do everything that I can in order to make these particular races. Just an awesome short track, a lot of nostalgia here, and seem to find a decent amount of speed at this particular track, and it's just a lot of things to love about this particular track, and glad to get another win here.
Well, I know that Jeffrey Merck is your teammate there, and kind of some interesting pit strategy tonight. You guys came into the pits together a couple of times, but then that last pit stop, Jeff Merck ducked in, and the rest of you stayed out. Were you kind of surprised that, or did Jeff Merck let you on that that's what he's going to do?
No, there was actually no team chat about that particular situation there, and not sure. I mean, it was earlier on in the race when Merck stayed out on a caution and I ended up getting tires. It was just, I don't know, for me, it seemed like it was a pretty profound difference, even on 30 some odd lap tires on a green flag run. So for him to pit right there, I just didn't know he was going to have enough time and speed to be able to get back up towards the front with all the spots that he did lose, because there was a bunch of us that stayed out there, and so I had a decent feeling in the back of my head that he was going to be able to make something happen, but we just didn't have the green flag run there at the end to make it pan out. So,
well, you definitely showed that you have the talent for this place, and especially strong move on the outside on one of those restarts there where you said, I'm going by you and I'm doing it on the outside. So great run for you. Hey, who do you want to thank tonight? I know you didn't make the playoffs, but you're starting to show some strength out here late in the season. Who helps you get it done?
Well, can't go without saying the guys down at Bandits. We had a pretty fun night, all things considered, with Merck and Justin in the playoffs tonight. I just wanted to kind of help them out, give them a few pointers here and there if they were going to ask for them. And sure enough, I think we all kind of stayed up towards the front for most of the race. So curious to see how the points kind of shake out with everything that did go on tonight. Hopefully we can get two Bandit cars in the final 4 there. Yeah, kind of unfortunate that we didn't make this final round here, because I think we started to catch some speed here late, especially. So, but yeah, we'll go into Phoenix with the same mentality that we would if we were in the playoffs. Just give it all we got, and we can kind of be fast and loose on strategy, and see how the chips fall on that particular race next week. So, gotta thank all the friends and family that are back home watching the broadcast with you, Ken, and with you, Scott, up in the booth. Put on an awesome show. I cannot wait to get into next week's race and see old Dr. Dick Bergeron up in the booth there with you guys. That should be an awesome time for sure. And of course, you, Scott, making an awesome paint job that was pretty fast tonight with the Miller Fortune number 7 cars. So
out there in the chat, we got Shelly Mall. She's saying you need to get another clock.
Well, that was kind of the thought process going into this weekend. I was kind of hinting at the chat and Facebook there. You know, are we going for another quack this weekend? But I never did get anything back on that, so must be no dice on that particular agenda. So, nevertheless, though, happy to be up front of Martinsville and get another win here.
All right. Well, congrats again. We'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Later.
All right, there's race winner Greg Mall on the season. We'll talk to Johnny Hamby. Looks like he's down in there in the green room. And Johnny, if you're here, looks like another runner-up finish for you, finishing second. Also finished second last week at Homestead, Miami, Florida. Am I right? Let me just make sure that I got this right.
That is right.
Oh no, he's third. He's third this week. We got it mixed up a little bit. Third place tonight, going from second last week at Homestead to third this week at Martinsville. Kind of the silent wonder throughout the night. Stayed out of trouble. Looks like a little bit of right front damage on the car though, on the John Deere Chevy ZL1. But how was your night? Looks like you at least stayed out of trouble for the most part and kind of snuck into a top 3 finish here.
I don't care first, second, or second, third, man. I got a podium again. I'm freaking thrilled. Yeah, I made one little mistake, locked him up, kind of wheel hopped at one time and caught the wall a little bit. I didn't feel like I had time to even go in and try to repair it. I think it came down to some differences in fuel. When we stopped, I went a little early and I had enough to finish. Some of these guys then came through and had to go in and then just work my way up, trying to keep it clean, stay on the bottom. I'm just, I can't believe it myself.
Yeah, certainly a good one to get out of the way here. It's awesome to have you in the league. I know you joined late in the season to the Multi-League Cup Series here. Let's pull up some stats on you here. It looks like 11 starts, no wins just yet, but 2 top 5s. We'll have to update that to 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s on the season. Good record here so far in the John Deere Chevy. And what do you got next week? I assume you're going to join us for the Dick Berggren special next week from...
Sure. It's been a lucky break for me. I've been being a road racer, coming in, trying to learn these tracks, trying to learn, the ins and outs of ovals and all that. Been working on it in officials and practices. I'm gearing up to try to run it next year. I still have some tracks I haven't even bought. So it's still going to be a learning curve. And I'm going to Phoenix, and I'm without a doubt going to try to stay out of the way of the top 4 as far as them racing for the championship. But I do like that track, and I hope I can put together something similar.
All right, we're looking forward to it. It's good to see some different names up front, some fresh faces. So glad you're joining that pack and having an awesome time out here. And at Martinsville, congratulations on third place podium finish. And we'll talk to you next week from Phoenix, Johnny. Anybody to thank real quick from third place?
Hey, all these guys racing around us, man, it's super clean. It's just fun. Me and Wesley, again, he beat me last week. We're side by side half the night. It's clean. I just really enjoying this. Again, thank you guys. I think I'm excited to see Dick come in and do some commentating, because I always really liked him in the pits in NASCAR. I think it's super cool. So thanks a lot for everything, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, looking forward to that too. I appreciate the donation, by the way. We talked during the week. We put out notices, and we've raised a lot for Dick next week, and it's a surprise. I hope he's not watching it. I haven't sent this to him, but maybe he is. But we've got quite a bit awesome surprise for him, but the whole league coming together to for that cause for him. Looking forward to that next week, and congrats on third place, and we'll talk to you next week from Phoenix, Johnny.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
You bet. You too, Johnny. There it is. You want Justin, Ken?
Sure, let's give Justin a try since we're a little bit out of order. Hey, Justin, Scott and I out here in the booth kind of got out of order here, but great job on that second place finish. Kind of an up and down night for you tonight.
Yeah, I'm really bad at this track. It's no big secret. I just came in here hoping for a top 10, top 15, no incident points, because I just needed to have a decent finish to stay up there in the points, and we did that. One time I was back there like 14th, 15th, and I had 16X, and luckily Wes was like 2 spots ahead of me, so I knew we probably would have been okay if it ended right there, but second place locking it up is pretty good too.
Yeah, you finished this race with 16 incident points, is that correct?
6.
Oh, okay, all right. You had me worried there. I was like, wow, you're just right on the bubble there. So yeah, I seen you. You had some incident or some looseness in the car tonight, and I think that's what a lot of people are experiencing. Did that kind of catch you off guard?
No, I knew about it coming in. I didn't do any practice here. I should have, but I just didn't.
Well, God help us all if you ever practice.
Well, it wouldn't still help at this track. I'm terrible here. I don't know why.
Well, you're not so terrible. You were able to get second out of this place, but here you are. You finally made it. All those bonus points too. Not to mention 12 wins on the season, I believe it is. Scott was telling me how tired he was of putting win stickers on the pillar of that car. I think you're basically out of room, but here you are. You're going into the final, and we're going to erase all those bonus points. What do you got for Phoenix next week?
I like Phoenix. For the past couple weeks, I've been trying to find out what happened in the spring race because I led 66 laps. It wasn't broadcast because Scott decided he wanted to go to the race.
I just want to mention, you just reminded me, I was in that race.
Yeah, so do you know what happened? Because I led 66 laps, and I think I didn't finish, so I don't know what happened. So
I don't know what happened. I think I finished fourth, if I remember right. I'd forgotten all about that. I forgot I ran a couple of races here, but
well,
yeah.
Hopefully I run pretty good. Like at that time, if I lead a bunch of laps, I mean, as long as I finish ahead of the three other guys, if I win, awesome. But just got to finish ahead of them.
Yeah, well, you've shown you can do it, and look forward to watching you next week. And Scott likes to point out we got Mr. Dick Bergeron out. That'll be in the booth with Scott and myself, so it'll be even double exciting, and the pressure is going to be on us in the booth as well as you guys out on the track.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. He called another race I was in a year or two ago, and that was a really fun race. We definitely enjoyed going back and watching that one again. So hopefully it's another good race next week. Not a lot of yellows. Hopefully get a lot of green flag hard racing.
All right. Well, anybody you want to thank tonight before we let you go and celebrate that second place?
Just everybody out there watching. Hopefully it was a good race. I know we had a few cautions there. It was you guys call great races always. I got a couple people out there watching. My friend Darren. Apparently one of my bosses is out there watching too, Mr. Brown. So we definitely appreciate him. Kim for putting on a good leg as always. So we definitely appreciate him.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, and good luck to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
All right, there it is, Ken. Appreciate the work on that. Justin Michael with an awesome recovery from a couple incidents there, getting back up to second spot. And man, what do you think about Martinsville? Some tough, hard racing, some few incidents, but not as many cautions as we saw in the springtime. Yeah,
definitely. We cut those cautions down in half. Guys struggling with the cars a little bit still, but overall pretty clean. It wasn't guys getting into each other. It was basically cars getting loose in the center of the corner, like the drivers had said, and kind of collecting some cars. I think the last race we had guys just getting into each other. So hats off to these guys. I'm looking forward to next week. They put a race on next week that they did tonight. It's going to be a showstopper for sure.
I think so. And speaking of next week, I pulled up the official points going forward. The four that are going to race for the championship at Phoenix: Wes Holland, Jeff Merck, Justin Michael, and Charles Widener made it.
Wow. Wow.
Probably by the unfortunate result of Rod Mitten there spinning on the 1 lap to go. I got to imagine possibly that cost him a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And Vernon Margheim, definitely just the guy on the outside looking in. Rod Mitten would have been in this thing. That spin, what was that with 5 to go there, Scott, that Rod Mitten found himself in trouble?
I think that was with like 2 to go, coming on the white flag.
Yeah, 2 to go. Yeah, I think that would have eliminated Charles Widener. So a lot of drama here at the end of this one. So that's what we're here for. And there you have it, I guess.
Speaking of next week, we got Kim Quick in the booth, one of our admins. You got anything to add from the booth, from the tower, Kim? What was it like from your standpoint? How was it regulating this race tonight?
Other than there's a few yellows, it wasn't too bad. But I do have the results for you if you want to know who the top 4 are, unless you've already figured it out.
Yeah, we just went through that. Wes Holland, Merck, Justin Michael, and Charles Widener snuck his way in here. Yeah,
we had to go down and do a points recount. Vern wasn't sure. They thought it should have went the other way, but after we washed it all out, Vern got 9 penalty points tonight, and Merck only had 3. Merck got 4 bonus points. Vern only got 1, and there was a 5 points different going in, and that washed it out to a 4-point lead on Merck.
Wow,
that's how it went.
That's quite the storyline there. How bonus points in this play a role in deciding. That's how close it is after all these races all season long. But there's the final results. Charles Widener, Justin Michael, Jeff Merck, and Wes Holland. Some of those just by the skin of their teeth. But appreciate that update, Ken.
Yeah, how was it up in the booth tonight? Busy?
Oh
That
yeah,
was
it's
good.
always busy up here with all these buttons and microphones and interviews, but we have a good time.
Yeah, no, actually it was pretty easy on mine tonight. Just yeah, it was actually pretty easy. Actually, I thought they did pretty well. There was a few caution flags there towards the end. They were started out pretty smooth, but it's still for Martinsville. I thought it went pretty good.
I think it did too, certainly. And next week at Phoenix, I think it's going to be more of the same good hard racing for the season closer. What do you got, Ken?
Oh, I don't have anything. I'm just, like I said, I'm excited about being with Dick Berger and at Phoenix. So, like I said, I'll have to get an A game going here. I'll have to actually do some studying.
Me too. So I saw Dick on Saturday. I was up at the racetrack for there's a Lemons race. You know, people race their junk cars. I had some friends racing up there at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So I actually headed up on Saturday, and the museum's right around the corner. They're only open on Saturdays during the off season. So I stopped in, and there was Dick working on some pictures and organizing some things. So I caught up with him to make sure that we're still on for everything, and he swears we are. And I got to send him some information this week on storylines, drivers, points, you name it. He wants it to do all his research. He's going to put on a heck of a broadcast here on the Multi-League Racing Network next week at Phoenix. Should be a good one.
It should be. I'm really looking forward to it. So I guess that's about all I have, Scott.
Me too. That about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Certainly next week, we are moving up the start time next week. So instead of 8:30 Eastern time, the normal broadcast start time, we're going to start closer to 8 o'clock. Probably, if I had to guess, maybe a few minutes just before that. So if you hit the subscribe button, hit that, I think there's a little alarm bell up there that'll alert you when we are live at the Multi-League Racing Network. You're not going to want to miss the beginning of that race. I can promise you that. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody there. Enjoy your week. Have a safe week. And we'll see you from Martinsville Championship Weekend, Multi-League Stone River Outfitter Cup Series style. We'll see you then, folks. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Drivers, start your engines.